The webinar will begin shortly. Please remain on the line. The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
All right. Good afternoon, traders. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the hump. Welcome to the Tradespoon live trading room, stocks and options. Closing bell. My name is Scott. I'm the head trading coach here at Tradespoon. Where is everybody? They're all late? What's going on? John's here. LK's here. Hello to both. Two of the most important, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Glad to have you both. And everyone else who's here, glad to have you as well. I'll tell you what, it's the debt ceiling. We've talked about we've seen this dog and pony show before. We've seen the drama. Now, I put the half a hedge on yesterday, John, in full agreement. Are we a little bit nervous that our political dynamic has devolved even worse from both sides? Just, what a toxic environment. So are we in the toxic environment where they don't actually raise the debt ceiling? Unfortunately, it feels like we could be. Like, I feel that fear, that apprehension. Weigh in. Tell me if you agree. Yeah. I saw one person, it was that Jeremy Siegel. He's like, oh, there's zero chance that it doesn't, happen. And I'm wondering if he means like at the last hour, they do one of those, like, we're going to mint $1 trillion coin. And now we have, what we need for, I don't know. Good afternoon, Koo. Another of our essential participants. Glad to have you. Yeah, I don't know what that means. I think the second you say there's a 0% chance or 100% chance, like, why? Why would you ever do that? That makes no sense to me. Like, there's not a very big chance. Certainly you could go with that, but 0? Come on. You're just calling out the market gods to strike you down when you do something like that. I'm just saying. This is me. Oh, my slides reverted. What happened? 24 and 20. Those are my numbers. These are the disclosures. Be careful out there. It may indeed be already time. We're looking at the hedge, trying to see what we need to do. All right, let's get into it. Let us get into it. Stocks, is this updated? Stock slide as debt ceiling talks hit another snag. What? What? Are you serious? They hit a snag? They didn't come up with a solution prior to June 1st? Oh my God, I thought for sure they would have done that by now. I'm fluent in sarcasm, by the way, in case everyone was curious. It's exactly what we thought it would be. Oh, we're making progress. Oh, we're going to stomp out in a huff. We will never concede that, blah, blah, blah. Week. Now the right's being stalled from the far right of the right, I guess. Now, here was an interesting one. We had one. We go to the economic calendar, Christopher Waller. You might think that I call him Chris, but I don't. I call him Christoph. I don't know why. This is what I chose. Christoph. His comments were interesting. No stopping hikes until inflation cools. And he hasn't said whether he thought it has or not. He says in the next 3 weeks. Well, it's really not the next 3 weeks. It's this Friday for a big chunk of it. PCE index, core PCE, year over year, core year over year. What it basically means to me is if the data comes sideways, it's not enough. It's got to drop. It's got to drop. If it drops, I think we're good still for the pause. If it comes back as expected or at all above or at, and if it's only like halfway, down and the other half met expectations, then it's up in the air. That's what it is for me. If on Friday everything comes down, we're going to get a pause. If some of it comes down and some of it stays the same, it's 50-50 pause or one more quarter point. If it comes back sideways, right? If it comes back as expected or higher, hike. That's how I see it. Let me know if you see it differently. Weigh in. But yeah, Waller today, we had Fed minutes come out about an hour ago. Not much impact. I think it's saying the same thing that he said. They're all kind of seeing it the same way. They've got 2 more quarter point bullets in the chamber. The question is, are they going to shoot again or wait? John says, see it the same. Tomorrow, we got GDP. We'd like to see the economy's growing, even if it's slow. Jobless claims were still right back under the 250. When we saw it pop up, I'm like, I'm not worried yet. Just relax. Pending home sales, expecting that to come back a little bit. Friday's the day. That's when we get a lot of data. So we're going to continue to see the actors on the political stage, the bad actors on the political stage doing their acting and having their press conferences. And we want to make a deal, but we just can't concede, blah, blah, blah. But then we get our inflationary data, and that's going to give us insight into the Fed. We look at how the model sees it. Stella, did I update that? I thought I did. Stella is bullish coming out of this consolidation that we're in now. She thought it might have happened today. It didn't. That's okay. Right? That's okay. If we come down a little bit more, but the rest of this shifts but stays the same, that's still what I'm looking for in my own analysis. My market posture, for anyone who does the standard, it's not the standard, but standard for us, a standard weekly routine, I improved to a 2.5. So I am in that slightly bullish purview. And the model definitely is seeing signs of bullishness and looking for a continuation. Despite the summer doldrums, still looking for it. Let's go QQQ. QQQ also bullish coming out of the consolidation, right? Looks bullish. Anybody seeing the market more bullishly than me, or more neutral, or even bearishly? I know Vlad still has a bit of a bearish lean. I'm always ready to shift that way. How are you guys seeing the market out there? Let's get a temperature check on the group. Dow, more neutral as expected. John says 275. I'd love it. Right in that same range. Jacques says slightly bullish with a 2.0. That's exactly what I would expect, right? We're all in that same vein. It's hard to really, like, if someone's like, yeah, I'm actually very bullish, gotta be like, okay, how? Short-term bearish. In that regard, if we're talking trading posture over market posture is my bigger picture perspective, but I agree. I'm in the short term, I would say more neutral than bearish, meaning I see us consolidating, but wasn't that interested in putting on bearish trades other than my half a hedge, if that makes sense. So yeah, I would agree with that. Let's look at the IWM. Thank you for those of you willing to share. IWM starting to show, right? We've talked about the IWM and its need to participate, but it did break this consolidation, pull back, trying to maybe make a higher low. if we see money come into small caps, that would be quite nice. And add to that would make me raise my score if we saw that addition to our appetite for risk. Absolutely. Seasonal charts, still from the seasonals, expecting more sideways than anything else, right? More sideways than anything else. Here's today's heat map. Oh, I'll tell you what, look at ADI. NVIDIA is going to report. NVIDIA was looking like a magnificent setup. Just traded NVIDIA. Looking to want to trade it again. Problem is earnings. Earnings are today. And then you've got NVIDIA. Some of these smaller NXPI, MCHP, ON, really getting beat up a little bit. AMD's fine. I like AMD's actually. My two favorite now are AMD and NVIDIA. I like CRM. Microsoft, I like. Oracle, I like. Financials are down. Energy's up. Cyclical, I like Amazon. I like Netflix, Google, Meta. A lot of things in this area, this bullish area. Defensives are not doing much. Industrials not doing much. They haven't been doing much for a while. The only one in industrials that I like is BLDR. Healthcare, oh, man. Choppy in there. It's choppy in there. Be careful in there. All right, let's jump into it. A little bit of recovery from the lows. I mean, this is exactly what I would want to see. See this stabilize, maybe turn Friday, Monday. I definitely feel like there's a slew of bullish setups developing. It's just a matter of when. What's the trigger? Being patient, letting it set up. Let's dive into the 5-minute chart. Okay. Let's go here. Right across this. That is not a straight line. Okay, what is going on? Oh, sorry. I'm like, why can't I draw a straight line? Let me try again. I was hitting the wrong button. That's on me. There we go. We got these touches here, and we tried here. And in order to get here, it's got to break that line, A's. That's what you're dealing with. I'm going to make it easy for B's and hard to take the extreme. B, you get that whole middle ground. And C's, it's got to drop all the way back at or below basically the session lows. Right? That's in the range. ABC. I feel like we're not going to get a lot of C's. I feel like I skewed that one a little bit. But look at that. As we talk, it's breaking out. I'm going to go B. I think it's going to try. It's going to live here for a little bit, and then it's going to sink back down 411. That's me. LK says A. Dennis says A. Jacques says A. John's joining me in the B's. Yeah. Anybody else want to weigh in? Get in while the getting's good. So it's trying. We've got 40 minutes left. We've got quite a bit of time left. Okay. All right. Good enough. Windows closed. What were the numbers? Sorry, I didn't even look. 411. We're going to call it 411.35. 410.25. About $1.10 range. 411.35. Okay. Buyers want to do their thing. They're pushing. They are pushing. Let's look at the VIX for today. We'll talk about why I put on a half a hedge. And oh, look at that. Look at that. Wanting to give us a nice hammer. Getting ready Plenty of setups to put on our shopping list. VIX. So off this is why I did it. Okay, is in my assessment of the VIX, I basically drew my line of consolidation through here. Something along those lines, right? I got all these. This was just one day blip, and the next day it was right back down very early. That was most representative to me of VIX action. So when it broke that yesterday, I said, I don't love that. About half a hedge. And, so far, obviously today, that hedge is making some money. I'm not taking profits. There's nothing there for me yet. Yeah, nothing there yet, but I did put the half on. Now, what's our concern? This is our low. If this thing stabilizes and starts to come back down, that's not a lower high. It is a higher high, but it is very similar to this high. My posture gives me liberty to trade that bullishly. The higher high is not that concerning yet. What the higher high is concerning for is that we have elevated emotions for whatever reason. It doesn't matter why. You don't need a reason. You just need to understand it's elevated. So my concern is if we get bullish trades and then the market goes up for 2 or 3 days and the VIX drops and then starts to stabilize, that is going to be problematic right there. Where if it comes down and then turns again, that's when the higher low kicks in. So not only would I still maintain my half a hedge, I would add a full hedge. And the concern is we break up, into this range, and then if we consolidate again, that we break up into this range. I see us having 2.5 for early trades. Now, if it gets to that point where it's bearish, then we start looking at bearish trades. But if it's just a consolidation to a correction, I typically see that I have 2.5 opportunities to get positions in place to help protect and possibly profit from it. That's the hedge strategy right there. So yes, half a hedge yesterday, watching this very closely, especially because I'm going to be putting bullish trades on. Right? I'm going to be putting bullish trades on that if the VIX rolls over to the downside. But if it only rolls over to the downside for 2 or 3 days and then it starts to turn around again, then I'm going to put a hedge on and then use the opportunity to manage any new bullish trades that get put on over the next little bit. As proactive as possible. Have as many details in mind as possible. That's our objective. Yeah? Let me know if you have any questions about the SPY or about the VIX, market posture, sectors. The sectors that are leading, still technology, still communication services, and we added a little bit of consumer discretionary. Right? We added a bit of consumer discretionary. So what does that mean? What does that mean to us? That's a third. Which strike on the SPY? It was the 395s, I believe. 395. I think my 5% at the time I looked at it put me at 394.25, which obviously that close to a $5 increment. I'm going to go to the $5 increment. So June 30, 295 or 395, 395s. What is our price? Now I'm second guessing myself. 395s. They looked magical at one point today. Still look okay. Right? Not a lot bullish on. I actually took a trade on McDonald's. I got in and out in a day. I was like, yeah, I like McDonald's, slow and steady. Put it on. Come on, McDonald's. You owe me money now. McDonald's owes me some money. I'm going to come for collections. All right. What else? What were we looking at? Sorry. Spy. Okay. Yes. The watch list, I believe, is where we are getting to now. To the watch list, my friends. Sorry, my chat's in the way. Top Bulls. There's nothing in materials for us, but I like to keep watching it. This helps me expect that inflationary pressures are continuing to be down, quite honestly. Apple. Oh, Apple. Coming our way. Looks good, right? Setting up. Ready to turn, maybe even tomorrow. And if your posture is enough, or if you don't have enough bullishly, this is where I absolutely think about anticipatory trades. I don't like to do it here because it's a special circumstance when you're personally willing to do a anticipatory trade. And I don't like that a lot of people follow directly, where I might be like, hey, I'm thinking about this as anticipatory. I want that to be a personal decision. So, you have to decide. Would I do that? Would I wait one more day? If I wait one more day, when would I get in tomorrow? Pretty early. Tomorrow, if this stochastic turns and it looks pretty good, here around 172.5, I'm thinking, hey, let's take it. Let's get in. Take that trade, stop below. Let's see what we can get. Let's see if we can catch one of these 5 to 7 day pops. Is there a way to show the current watch list? Okay, get your screen prints ready. I'm gonna pull this over. I keep it on the side page. Let's see how far can I get. Okay, so there's Alcoa through SPY. Take a quick print screen and move it somewhere, or you can watch the video later. And then let me go ahead and scroll down. So from SPY, there's really only a few more. These down here. That's the watch list. There you go, Ted. I hope that helped. My pleasure. Oh yeah, this has me a little nervous about NVIDIA on earnings. This was ADI's earnings. They came out last night, I believe. Let's see, was this after hours? Before market open at 6 a.m. And it just so they exceeded their earnings by I don't know, 8 cents, 283 versus 275, 8 cents. People always say, Scott, they exceeded earnings. Why is it going down? And I say it's going down because there's more sellers than buyers. Dun, dun, dun. No. Why? It means they lowered their guidance. There's a but. We exceeded. We expected 275. We got 283. But going forward, we expect sales to diminish, whatever operational costs to increase, whatever they reported on, that wasn't ideal. This thing gapped down quite a bit. We're down 8%. Now, can NVIDIA come out after hours and absolutely obliterate, and then that thing just gaps up? Yes. But it makes me, Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting one. ADI really got beat up there. Not great for the overall perspective of technology. Amazon looks like it's trying to turn right now. Stochastics has turned, hasn't crossed, but it's pinched. This is turning up. I like the way Amazon looks. I would imagine the model likes the way Amazon looks. Maybe we'll take a trade on Amazon. I hope everybody took profit on their Microsoft trade in a timely fashion. If you took it with us, we caught a nice piece. But if you waited to get out, remember, we're saying right now it's 2 to 4 days. We're not trying to stay in trades for a long period of time. 2 to 4 days still in the market that we're in. So when and you probably took half your profit maybe along the way. I did the same with NVIDIA. There you go. Looking for that pop. Looking for the pop on Amazon. The market, the model confirms. There you go. Okay. Boeing. I actually am interested in Boeing if here was my line of consolidation. You can see it pretty clearly. It broke up out of it, higher high, coming back down. What do I need? I'd like to see it hold at or above the line and then give me a higher low. Higher low. Okay. BLDR. BLDR. Close. It's on the list. Yeah, it had great earnings. You know, I'm not much one for continuation trades. If you did do the continuation trade, Heiken-Ashi would have gotten you every bit of that. But now it's in consolidation. I said 110. It's a little even higher than that. But if it stabilizes and then turns, we've got exactly what we're looking for. CMG Burrito Factory. It's coming down. Possibly a setup soon. A lot of people aren't that interested. They don't love trading $2,000 stocks. I get it. I get it. COP. Look at oil. Now I'm interested. If oil is gonna become a mover again, it broke out. Debt ceiling drama is political theater, not an existential crisis. Thank you. That's what I started saying 2 weeks ago. You're welcome. You can use Dog and Pony Show too if you want. I'm fine with that. Just let me know. Proper attribution if possible, please. Thank you. It broke out now. It brings balance. It brings a little bit of correlation with other things that I trade. Yeah, gonna look for that. So that's on my shopping list. Costco. Just never really formed anything. Now we have earnings tomorrow after market. Nah, there's nothing for us there. DBC, no, I like COP better. DIA. The Dow has showed some weakness here. Yeah. I have no interest in that or in blue chips, quite honestly. Right? Quite honestly. Okay, what else is on our list? Disney. Nope. Right? We had no interest in Disney. Once it brought, I don't even know why we're watching it. You're off the list, Disney. You're off the list. FCX. Okay, FCX. Negative. Look how bad it looks, right? Terrible. FDX. If I get a higher low, if you're ever wondering, like, hey, how do I know a breakout's coming? You do. Excuse me. Fighting the remnants of a summer cold. If you're ever going to take a stab at it, do it off of a higher low. For sure. Okay. feel like my mouse is very slow and unresponsive today, and I don't know why. GE, Bob, am I right? Is Bob here? I don't even know if Bob is here. Bob loves. I don't think Bob's even here. That's why he's not here. So what happens? It sets up. Nice trend. It's not a huge stock, right? It's not. What are we looking for? 3, 4, 5 days of pop. Easy to control risk on something like this. Most definitely. Okay. On the list, though, right? On the list. I hope you see the pattern. A lot of things are setting up. Gold off the list. I'm not interested. Look at the materials. Getting crushed. There's nothing there. Google WM. G is a grinder. Agreed. I have interest in IWM for the same reason. This is where I see the line of consolidation. It popped it over top. As long as it can hold at 175, I'd like to see small caps involved and engaged in what's going on. Jets. Jets, remember we said consumer discretionary has shown some additional interest. Here you can see I had this consolidation. It broke on volume. Pulling back. If I can hold that higher low, I'm all set. Right? Then I'm all set. I actually see quite a bit. Vlad picked a bear credit, a bear call in IWM. I mean, it's coming down off of this high. So what I would say is this: if you do the trade and you see it start to bounce, be careful. Be careful. Don't let it bounce against you there, right? Okay, let's keep looking. If I can. MasterCard. So remember we talked about a nice house in a crappy neighborhood? Well, there you go, right? Nice house, crappy neighborhood. Unfortunately, that's what can happen. At this point, not really interested, right? At this point, I'm not interested. I need to see more from the financial sector to want to trade into that. Bob, you're late. We already talked about GE. We already talked about it. So, Ted said IWM, he thinks Vlad has a bull call spread. Oh, so make sure you review that to determine if that is a bullish or a bearish spread trade. Oh, McDonald's. What do we have? I liked it right here. You know, the sellers came in. It meanders down the way it meanders up. It gave me a nice little signal. I'm like, yeah, McDonald's. Let's go. Get a cheeseburger. Boom. No, sir. No cheeseburger for you. I closed it. Took my loss. Took my loss like a champion. Fred said, sell the 180 calls, buy the 185s for July. That's definitely a bear call. So, yeah. Be aware of that. Be aware. Meta. I took the trade. You heard me complain a little and ask if it could just accelerate. It did for me. Hooray! That was a good one. Anyone trade Meta? That was on the list. It's set up, triggered. Let me know. Took some profits. I actually feel like it hasn't had much of a consolidation. I wouldn't mind if it consolidated a little bit more, like 240 or so. Give me a nice, smooth consolidation would be fantastic. Marvell, so you can see Marvell is not really getting, it's got earnings tomorrow after market, Nvidia's today after market. It's not getting impacted much by ADI. So that's interesting. Microsoft, I took profit yesterday. It was like perfect, and then it like opened down, and then when it crossed this, I'm like, oh God, and I got out and I took the profits. So yeah, I was hoping for 2 or 3 more days. Yeah, I get it. That was optimistic. I get it. I was intentionally optimistic. Anybody else in and out of Microsoft? Still in Microsoft? You see my line. As long as it stabilizes at or above that that line, then I'm gonna have it again. So yeah. Ready for the next trade to set up again. Netflix. I'll tell you what, it's just yeah, that's a tough one. It's so fast. If you hesitated, I would get it. I don't know that I'm gonna necessarily jump in or not, but I'm watching it. Nvidia looks magical. I want to trade Nvidia. Nvidia is also, I took this trade in Nvidia here, got that out, just boom, 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 3 days. Yeah, done. Yeah. I would love to trade it again. The problem is the earnings are going to probably have a significant impact on how it moves next. Oracle is close. I like Oracle. If I can get a good entry on Oracle, I will definitely be looking for that. Pepsi's off the list. It was like trying to draw me in. I'll tell you what, I was like really close. And I'm like, if I get one more day here, I'm gonna take it. And then it did that instead. And I'm like, yeah, okay. We're done with you, Pepsi. Maybe I'll look at Coke instead. You lost your chance. You're off the island. Dutch Brothers. Oh, we haven't looked at Dutch Brothers for a little while. Ted says, take a look at Dutch Brothers and see what it has to offer us. BROS. I don't know. Still lower low, lower high. Not as interested in that yet for me right now. Okay. Do not want to go overweight in tech. I get it. PHM. possibly setting up for a trade? QQQ. Setting up for a trade. If you want to trade the ETF, Starbucks is off the island. It's no good. There's nothing there. So much volatility, so little consistency. So, yeah, just not really interested. SMH. This may be an opportunity if we don't get it from NVIDIA or AMD. This may give us an opportunity here to trade the semiconductor group, right? Here's SPY. Okay. SPY, let's get into the 5-minute chart. Oh, look at that. 411.35 or 30. I can't remember now. 35? I think it was 35. You can see we did pull back, and now it's either going to hold it or we're going to possibly see it hold up for the A. So it's the exact zone that I was thinking about, but we'll see which way it ends up going as we come to the close of the market. Natural gas. Oh, natural gas. Natural gas could be close. If you notice, we broke out. New high, higher than this previous. Now it's pulling back and possibly giving us this new higher low. Yeah, love it. Opportunity. The VIX is about what it was when we looked at it. XLF. Not yet. I mean, it was kind of like I don't know, maybe. It's a maybe. Here's why I say maybe. There's my consolidation. That encapsulates all but the open here. But we've broken through that higher low from this point. Now what are we looking for? A higher low. But unfortunately, that's it. That's the higher low, right, that we would be looking for. Let me get rid of these lines. XLI, nothing really there. That's why on BLDR, I'm still a bit reluctant on it. XLP, look how much staples have been smashed. What are the implications of staples being smashed? The implications of that are the fact that there's not money flowing into defensive things like staples, like utilities, new lows, staples, new lows, even healthcare. None of that's there. Where's the money going? It's going into technology. It's going into discretionary, and it's going into communication services. I'm forgetting. Anyone know XLC? What is communication services? Yes, that's where it's going. You can see. Bob says, what about KB Homes? Probably going to look a lot like PH. Very similar type setup. Definitely looks strong and bullish. The new home sales are up because the inventory is just not there for existing. Eli Lilly, I'll tell you what. I'm a little skeptical of healthcare right now, but yeah, that looks pretty good. I agree with that setup. All right. What else? That's the story. Let's rehash it. The debt ceiling situation sucks. If you hate being at the whim or the mercy of the Fed, then you got to absolutely disdain being at the mercy of the political panderings of the U.S. government. That's just the unfortunate reality of the next week. Overall, everything's looking pretty bullish. Trends are holding up. VIX is holding up. The right sectors are leading the market. The right markets are leading the other markets. The VIX looks pretty stable. Not phenomenal, but stable. We've got a watch list full of stocks from those sectors, from technology, from communication services, from consumer discretionary. There's a lot of good signals. The question is, how much? You get signals. How many? 2 or 3, 3 or 4, 5 or 7, 9 or 10? How much risk per? How many total? Hopefully you're able to get them on at a couple of different intervals, and you're ready to go. We know what we're looking for the next hedge. We would have to see a buying cycle before we knew if that hedge was coming or not. Otherwise, I'm still on just half of a hedge. But if we can do that and get a sense for it, then we will. Then we'll know whether or not that hedge is going to be necessary to us. Yeah, that's really about it. Any other stocks that I'm missing? We're gonna maybe call it a few minutes early and do a 5-minute early gold medal. Let's just see what we think. SPY. And it looks like the sellers came back in. Remember our levels, 410.25 by 411.35. So it looked like it was going to maybe try to find some support. Sellers kept coming. All right, I'm calling it at 3:55, 45 seconds. In 45 seconds, the call is being made. I like to announce it so no one tries to accuse me of quiz show improprieties. All right. Weather good where everyone is. I found out one of my ACs is broken. One of my units. I got to have someone out. It's not hot yet. So as long as I leave the windows open and get the cold mountain air in overnight, it's not too bad. But it gets a little warm at night. If it hits 80, I'm like, not loving it. So, oh yeah. Clearly. We're hitting time. B's, congratulations. A's, try harder next time. C's, there were none of us. It's good to see you guys. I feel like this was a good conversation. I feel like we're on point. I feel like the read on the market's pretty solid. I'm going to go forward under that, guys. I'll be back on Sunday in the morning. I hope you guys will join me. Bring some coffee. Bring some great perspectives on the market, and we'll see where it puts us. Have a great rest of your week if I don't see you on Friday. And as always, happy trading.